Peter King has decided that Glenn Greenwald and other reporters who might actually report on what our government is up to are very, very dangerous. So let's hear from the good congressman from New York, but in fact, is of course the horrible congressman from New York.
Actually, if they willingly knew that this was classified information, I think action should be taken, especially on something of this magnitude. I know that the whole issue of leaks has been gone into over the last month, but I think something on this magnitude, there is an obligation, both moral but also legal, I believe, against a reporter disclosing something which would so severely compromise national security.
We're going to start taking actions against reporters. If you put someone like Glenn Greenwald in jail for doing his job, journalism, which, by the way, reporting on classified information is perfectly legal. So I don't know under what law Peter King thinks he can go after Glenn Greenwald. Okay, but if you put him in jail, it is a clear sign to all the other journalists, you're not allowed to do journalism anymore. If you have a leak, you have a source, we're going to arrest you and put you in jail. So they're not only destroying the Fourth Amendment by their, searches and seizures that are not specific to individuals, but that are a big dragnet, but they would also be destroying the First Amendment. So let's let this, again, I call him a congressman, but keep in mind with Peter King, a judge once declared him to be an obvious advocate for the IRA, which was a terrorist organization. So this man who's been judged in so many different ways and pretty much bragged about it, to be connected to a terrorist organization, now happens to be a congressman, a U.S. congressman, and he's talking about how other people are endangering national security. So let's let him continue.
I'm talking about Greenwald. Greenwald, not only did he disclose this information, he has said that he has the names of CIA agents and assets around the world, and they're threatening to disclose that. The last time that was done in this country, we saw a CIA station chief murdered in Greece, where you have someone who's disclosed secrets like this and threatens to release more. Then that, to me, yes, there has to be legal action should be taken against him. This is a very unusual case with life and death implications for Americans.
Peter King is a notorious liar. Glenn Greenwald has never said that he's going to reveal the names of CIA agents across the world. Completely and utterly made up by Peter King. So he goes out there and what does he say? Oh, once an agent died in Greece, and Greenwald died in Greece. Greenwald, life and death. Oh my, we got to go get him. We have to arrest him. There's no life and death situation here. He's a reporter. If you arrest Glenn Greenwald under this insane theory, and by the way, if he says this is life and death, and hence we can arrest reporters if it's a life and death issue, on every national security issue, they would arrest the reporter. On every single one. If this qualifies, all of them do. And then journalism in this country is dead. And that's exactly what people like Peter King want. And remember, a judge said that he was an obvious collaborator with the IRA. This guy, there isn't a single person in government more connected to terrorism than Peter King. And now he turns around as if he's the protector against terrorism, and he threatens to destroy our Constitution. Apparently he's never believed in it in the first place, to take out the First and the Fourth Amendment as he targets his enemies of the state. If they actually let you know what the government's up to, people like Peter King, well, that's very dangerous. It's not dangerous to the American people. We live in a democracy. We should know what our government's up to. It's dangerous to people in power like Peter King. That's why the people opposing them must be locked up. One more.
Do you think that Glenn Greenwald should be prosecuted for what's been released so far? I think you probably aren't causing much controversy if you're just talking about this guy potentially going out there and revealing names of covert agents across the world and compromising their security and their lives. But what about for what he's done so far?
I would say it should certainly be considered. The reason I say that is it's putting American lives at risk. This is clearly done, I believe, to hurt Americans, and to allow this to go on untrammeled, to me, it's going to have great consequences for the United States. But I'm tying the two together. That, to me, shows his motivation.
What would be the proof that this guy's trying to hurt America? I think Glenn Greenwald would say, I was trying to help America.
Well, first of all, he's not. And secondly, the very fact that he says, to me what shows his intent is from him saying that he's threatening to release the name of CIA agents. There's no way that helps the United States. And that, to me, shows his motivation.
So he says he's trying to help America. No, he's not. Oh, I guess it's settled then. Okay. And he's not trying to release the names of the CIA agents. You made that up. And even Megyn Kelly on Fox News was like, okay, that was some nonsense hypothetical. How about this situation that actually exists on this story? Well, it's really harmed American interests. Really? How? Can you name one way that it's harmed American interests? No, but it harmed my interests, so please lock that guy up. And by the way, right now, Glenn Greenwald is free and he has not been locked up. Peter King has not gotten his wishes, right? But the American government, according to reliable reports, is considering arresting, if they can, Julian Assange, indictments, etc. Now, Julian Assange took classified information that was given to him by a leak, by a source, and published it. And everybody said, oh, Julian Assange, he's not a reporter, he doesn't count. You think they're not going to count him? If Assange is arrested and then convicted in the US, what's going to stop the government from turning around and saying, well, look, Assange took classified information and published it. Greenwald took classified information and published it. The Washington Post took classified information and published it. Let's arrest them all. And that's exactly the point. Because what they're trying to do is kill investigative journalism overall, so we never find out what our government's up to.